Hey everyone, so today we're going to look at solving two-step equations. But before we do that, I just wanted to review solving one-step equations. So equivalent equations are equations that have the same solution. When we're solving one-step equations or two-step equations, we're going to use inverse operation, opposite operations to undo each other. So the opposite of adding is subtracting, the opposite of multiplying is division. It is very important to show your work when you are using inverse operation and solving equations. So we're going to look here at x plus 4 equals 38. The opposite of adding is subtracting. So I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides. These cancel out. I bring down what's left, which is x. 38 minus 4 is 34. So x equals 34. When I plug it in, 34 plus 4 gives me 38. What I do to one side, I must do to the other side. So let's look at this one. What is the solution of negative 7 equals b minus 3? So the opposite of subtracting is adding. So I'm going to add 3 to both sides. Again, showing my work. This cancels out. I bring down b. And a negative 7 plus 3 is a negative 4. Negative 4 equals b. Go ahead and try these two on your own. So you should have gotten m equals negative 6 and c equals negative 1. Add 8 to both sides. This cancels out. You get negative 6. The opposite of subtracting is adding. Add 4 to both sides. You get a negative 1. So when we're dividing, when we're multiplying, we want to divide. So the opposite of multiplying, again, dividing. So I divide negative 8 to both sides. And n equals a positive 8, because two negatives give me a positive. For this one, we have 14 equals x divided by 2. Opposite of dividing is multiplying. So I'm going to multiply 2 to both sides, and x equals 28. Go ahead and try these two on your own. So you should have gotten negative 8 because the opposite of multiplying, dividing. And over here you should have gotten negative 65 because the opposite of dividing is multiplying. So solving two steps, you're going to solve two-step equations using inverse operation. So let's look at this one. We always have to add or subtract first, and then multiply or divide. So we're undoing the addition or subtraction, and then multiplying or dividing. Aunt Sally must drive. So here we have 2x plus 3 equals 15. So I'm going to do the opposite of adding, which is subtraction. Again, showing my work, keeping everything in order. I bring down 2x, and then 15 minus 3 is 12. Now I have a one step. The opposite of multiplying is dividing, and I divide both sides by 2, and x equals 6. Let's look at this one. Again, we undo addition or subtraction first, and then we undo multiplying and dividing. So 3n minus 4 equals 11. So I'm going to add 4, since that's the opposite of subtraction. Cancels out. I have 3n equals 15. Then the opposite of multiplying is dividing, and n equals 5. You want to make sure you're showing all your work and all the steps. So let's look at this one, and I want you to put a star next to it. There's a 7 here. Anytime we're looking at equations, we look at the sign that's in front of the number. So this is a positive 7. So the opposite of a positive is to subtract 7. So we always look at the sign that's in front of the number. This cancels. I bring down 8x equals negative 1 minus 7. Keep, flip, change to get negative 8. Then the opposite of multiplying is dividing. I always divide the number that's next to the variable, and x equals negative 1, because a negative divided by a positive is a negative. So for this one, again, we add or subtract first, then multiply or divide. So the opposite of subtraction is adding. Cancels out. 5 plus 3 is 8 equals 2 divided by 2. Opposite of dividing is multiplying. Cancels out, and 2 equals 16. Go ahead and try these two on your own. So for these two answers, you should have gotten x equals 72 and c equals negative 3. So let's walk back through the steps. Opposite of subtracting is adding. I'm going to add 8 to both sides, bring down 18, and bring down the x divided by 4. Opposite of dividing is multiplying. I always multiply the number that's next to the variable, so I multiply both sides by 4, and x equals 72. Over here, this is like the one we put a star next to. You want to make sure that you look at the number or the sign in front of the number. So with the negative, I'm going to add 5 to both sides. I get a negative 9 equals 3c. Divide both sides by 3. And negative 9 divided by 3 is negative 3. Go ahead and try 2 more on your own. So for these two, you should have gotten y equals negative 50 and a equals 100. I'm going to subtract 2 to both sides. Bring down the y divided by 5 equals, keep, flip, change to get negative 10. Then the opposite of dividing is multiplying, and negative times positive is a negative. Over here, opposite of subtraction is adding. Bring down the a divided by 5. 18 plus 2 is 20. Opposite of dividing is multiplying. 20 times 5 is 100. So let's look at this word problem. It says, suppose you buy a slice of pizza for $1.50. You also split the cost of renting a video with 2 friends. The total cost is $2.75. Write an equation and solve to find the answer of what the cost of your video was. So, if we buy a slice of pizza, and we know it's $1.50. We know we've spent a total of $2.75, so that's what it's going to equal. We don't know the cost of the video, but we split it amongst 2 friends. So we're going to add, because we're combining. But we'll take the cost of the video, we split it amongst 2 friends and yourself. We're going to divide it by 3. If I spent $20 and I split it amongst 4 people, I would get $5 apiece. So we don't know the cost of the video, and we're going to split it amongst 3 friends. Now I'm going to solve. It's a positive 150, so I'm going to subtract 150. Cancels out. Bring down v divided by 3. Equals $2.75 minus $1.50 is $1.25. And then the opposite of dividing is multiplying. And I'm going to multiply by 3 to both sides. And v equals, using your calculator, $3.75. So the cost of the video was $3.75. Let's try another one. To make a long distance call, it costs 50 cents per call and 85 cents per minute. You make a long distance call that costs $3.90. You want to write an equation and solve it to find the length of the call. So again, we know it costs 50 cents no matter what per call. It's 85 cents per minute, and we don't know how many minutes we talk. That's what we're trying to figure out. This added together gives us our total of $3.90. Go ahead and solve this one on your own. So we should have subtracted 50 cents to both sides, brought down the 85 cents times m, and got $3.40. Opposite of multiplying, dividing, and I'm going to divide 85 cents to both sides, and m equals 4. Go ahead and try this one on your own. It says a delivery person uses a service elevator to bring boxes of books up to an office. The delivery person weighs 160 pounds, and each box of books weighs 50 pounds. The maximum capacity of the elevator is 1,000 pounds. How many boxes of books can the delivery person bring up at one time? So for this answer, you should have gotten 16. 160 pounds is what the person weighs. We're going to add that to 50 pounds per box. So we don't know how many boxes, and we know that it has to be a total of 100, 1,000, or less. So then the opposite of adding, positive 160 is subtracting. I bring down 50x equals 840. Opposite of multiplying is dividing, and you get 16.8. But we can't round up because we want full boxes. So we round down to 16. That's it for this lesson. I want you to make sure you go back, check your work, write down any questions that you may have. Now you're going to go click on the link to the Google Docs form to take the quiz, or you can go to the 7th grade website to get the link for the quiz, or back to our Edmodo page. Thank you and have a good night.